By an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33, and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 If I can't do it, homie, it can't be done. Now I'ma let the champagne bottle pop. I'ma take it to the top. Show, I'ma make it hot, baby. I apply pressure to the stunt and I pop. Stand the bumps, I'm sure that I got it. I Peter Piper, big peppers, and run rock rhymes. I'm 50 Cent, I write a little bit. Tell them, get their money right, cause I got mine. When I'm around, quit playing. You can't shine, you gon' be that next chump, then end up in the trunk at the beat. Is that what you want? Be easy. Now, believe me, that's what I'm about. Gangster, you can find a nigga sitting on throne. Hit the clutch, hit the gear, hit the gas, and I'm gone. Yeah. If I can't do it, homie, it can't be done. Now I'ma let the champagne bottle pop. I'ma take it to the top. Show, I'ma make it hot, baby.
Welcome in. It is the weekend. Grab your snacks, little beverage, perhaps a libation or two, because we're about to get into all of these trending topics and headlines on KBLA Talk 1580 with me, Stiletto Jill Munroe. I hope your day was amazing. Now, you know if we're breaking out with a 50, that means that somebody's getting roasted. Somebody is in his bullseye target. We're going to get into the details of 50's publishing company, G-Unit Publishing, going after someone that it's kind of interesting, and the reasons behind it. They're going after them legally, no street stuff. We'll get into the details of that. We are also going to discuss a settlement has been reached in a court case that we heard about. That is according to one Tony Busby. Andy, what?
I didn't like that gesture.
Which gesture?
He was like,
well, whenever settlements are reached, right, a lot of people will assume you're guilty, right? Some people will never get past the allegations that were in the suit, right? And some people are saying, yo, that's what you get. The country saying, hard head, make a soft behind, and your adult behind should have known better. So some people are saying it's just dessert. So we'll get into those details. And, Porsha and Simon still battling, still going back and forth. Simon is now suing Porsha. Man, every other day there's a new lawsuit. Like, I know that we're litigious, but goodness gracious, everybody's getting sued. Everybody got to pay up. Everybody's business getting spilled in legal documents, but that's how it goes. So we're going to get into all of those details. But before we get into that, I like to start the evening with a little bit of conversation. Oh, one other thing. We also have an interview coming up with Jurnee Smollett. She is starring in the new Apple TV Plus thriller Smoke. And it's quite an interesting concept. She gained 15 pounds of muscle for this role, so pretty intense. So we're going to talk to her and get into those details. Now, let me get into my convo starters. First up, and I think this is very important, as a matter of fact, just heard the previous host, Adrian, discuss something along these lines. So we all became reacquainted with the group Loose Ends during season 1 of BMF. When Lamar cut off everybody's water and the Loose Ends song, You Can't Stop the Rain, blasted into our sound piece, right? And prior to that, they also had hits like Back in the Day, if you remember, Hanging on a String, Slow Down, all of those things. Well, the lead singer, Jane Eugene, was detained by ICE a few weeks back, right? Now, Jane's voice obviously is a flashback. If you weren't aware, Loose Ends was a UK started R&B group. They got their start in the 80s when there was kind of a UK R&B moment in time. So, per the source, Jane, who moved to the U.S. as Loose Ends gained international popularity back in the 80s, was taken into custody recently. Her detainment has stirred up a lot of discussion about how the immigration policy impacts artists and other creatives, in addition to those that we typically are thinking about when we are having these discussions. So, it is a unique situation. There's a GoFundMe for her set up. It was launched on her behalf. It's raised over $6,000 as of Thursday night. And fans and friends in the music community are trying to rally behind her. But obviously, this raises concerns because this is a Black woman. How did, this path happen and open up? We're also going to be talking about Simon Guobadia later. I probably jacked Simon's last name up, but roll with me, rock with me. So just something to think about, something to put on your mind as we continue to have these ICE conversations. Listen, we will get into more trending topics and headlines when we come forward. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So if at any point during this conversation you want to jump in, 800-920-1580. Social media, you can give us some feedback there. KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Also, very important, the YouTube chat. Join it. Get involved. There's a lot of conversation going on there. Those are the homies. Those are our VIPs. And they check in and have their own side conversations that you want to get involved with. Okay. So, last night, we ran out of time, so I wasn't able to give you this update on Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion, but I really think it's one that you want to hear. So first of all, Klay, who Megan said is the nicest guy that she has ever dated, she's in a whole new experience. Klay seems like he's quite smitten as well. So this is what he had to say when asked about it. The two are keeping how they met undercover, causing some to feel as though it's a PR relationship. I will say this though, right? Klay's hands were all over Megan's thighs and all of that when she was showing off her Labubu collection. They look comfortable.
I ain't even mad at him.
I'm not mad at him either. And after I play this clip, I'm going to tell you about the gift that Megan has bought for Klay.
Klay does play for the Dallas Mavericks now.
Yes, he does.
So you talk about how they met. I'm just saying she's from Houston,
maybe.
Texas.
Maybe. I don't know. But right now it's looking a little meet cute. Let's hear what Klay had to say about Megan.
How does it feel to be here and to support Megan tonight?
Well, it feels incredible because Megan's such a special person and she inspires so many around the world. I've seen it firsthand, and this is just another incredible feat of hers to be able to give back, create a foundation, and raise a ton of money for those in need. And I'm honored to be here by her side. I know I would have loved to meet Holly and Joe. I know both of them would be so proud of their only daughter, just because of what not only she's been able to accomplish, what she's also going to continue to do. She has never been put in a box or allowed herself to be put in a box, and she just continues to inspire so many people around the world. And on top of that, raise a ton of money this evening and just do so much for so many in need. And it's an honor to be by her side, and I know both Holly and Joe will be so proud of what she's doing.
So, our light-skinned guys back? Are they up now? So listen, Megan is feeling very generous, right? And I dare say this might be a new experience for Klay. Megan gifted Klay with a $300,000 Audemars Piguet Royal Oak watch. He showed it off on his wrist. You can go check it out there. It's featured in the pictures from the gala the other night, the charity event. And, $300K on the watch? Sickening. So people are really upset about this. Not people, I should say. There's some men that are, salty, throwing shade. Like I said, running down Meg's past dating history, reminding us that it was just 2 months ago she was booed up with Torrey Craig in the bed, posting those things. Man, stuff happens. She's in her 20s. Is Megan still in her 20s or is she 30 now?
I'm not too sure on that one.
She's having a good time. Andy?
This is reminding me kind of sort of Future, Sierra, Russell Wilson vibes.
Mm-hmm. This might be her Russell Wilson.
I hate the fact that, Klay is the nicest man that she's ever been with. You know the stereotypes behind the nice man and whatnot.
That after the bad boy, she gets with the nice guy.
Come on. That's why people are like kind of dissing
But here's
Klay.
the thing. But is Klay a nice guy, or is he just with the right one? Because let's not forget, again, shooters shoot. Clay has his own little roster of, celebs, pseudo celebs, and Instagram vixens and such, right?
Were any of those breakups like bad?
Well, there was the one girl who like broke into his house and wrote Clay and like spray paint on the sidewalk. This was a number of years ago. There's been some internet chatter about some things. I mean, nothing obviously to the level of Megan, but Clay has a reputation as a player.
But he's still a good guy though. He doesn't have Future's reputation.
I mean, but because he grew up privileged. So I think that is also the implication there, Like Rocky Thunder, you remember she was on Love and Hip Hop, I think, season 1. She got into a beef with Joe Budden. She got flambéed online because she was like, yeah, Megan got to keep it cute now, not with all that drunk stuff. And Clay will have her in line. Highly, girl.
Wow.
That just say congrats and go. Don't do that right now. It's not time for that yet, but we'll see.
I wish them the best. I will say I do think that they are, they work well together. I saw another clip of them kind of vibing out. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there was like a performance going on, and you could see Megan Thee Stallion like lit, right? And Clay is being real chill. He just bopping his head. And there, people got all the commentary. The man looks miserable. The man is like, what did I get into?
I think it's a different energy for him. He looks to me like he's having a good time.
Absolutely.
And so, we'll see where it goes.
Shout out Clay.
Shout out to Clay Thompson. All right. Listen. 50 is gonna 50. If there are a few people that I probably would not want to get into a beef with ever, right? 50 is up there. I don't even know him. One day I might share the story about some beef me and 50 had. Not real beef. Just something crazy happened. Why am I even going here? Because I'm not going to share it. I am absolutely not going to share this story. Maybe one day, but today is not the day.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yep.
You got a Patreon or something, you know what I'm saying? Maybe subscribe to you on Instagram. Maybe you go ahead and, release the information there.
One day, maybe. We'll share it one day. But shout out to 50. I would not want beef with 50. So we know that his oldest child's mother, Shaniqua, is it Shaniqua? Shaniqua, okay. Shaniqua, apologies, girl, has been a little conversational, shall we say, over the past few weeks, right? And one of the things she shared during the Diddy trial when Jane Doe was on the stand that we know some have linked or put together the dots as to who that individual was and who her famous rapper child's father was. I'm not talking about Shaniqua. I'm talking about Jane Doe now that was on the stand in the Diddy trial, right? Well, after her testimony ended, or maybe it was during, Shaniqua famously put up a quote in her Instagram stories and said, "I'm so glad I never had to sell kitty emoji," right? Yeah. So it was that. It was a couple of other things. There was, what else did she, an interview she uploaded to YouTube, right? Called Other Side of the Coin, sharing the untold truth about how she helped build G Unit, right? And these two things have seemingly gotten her in hot water, right? Because G Unit is suing her for breach of contract and $1 million in damages. They want the court to silence her completely from posting about 50. And this ties back to an alleged 2007 agreement where she may have legally signed away the rights to even tweet about her personal relationship and her personal relationship with 50. All right, let me run this back for you, right? And give you the receipts. So back in 2007, Shaniqua allegedly signed the life rights of her story to G Unit Publishing. It was because she and 50 were beefing, right? This was when 50 was on top. He was Forbes list for his transactions, right? Vitamin water checks. This is when the vitamin water thing was happening. And hadn't quite started up yet with the TV and film thing, but you know, he was doing some of those films, trying to make it work, doing the independent thing. She wanted a house and child support. She was complaining that she needed a home and 50 needed to pay for it, right? So the fee for that is your silence. Sign here and boom, you no longer own the rights to your own life story, right? So they got in front of the baby mama narrative so that she could never pop off in the press again. I don't know if she understood what she was signing. I don't know if she really thought through what it meant, or if she thought that social media surely isn't the same thing as, you know, writing a book or doing an interview. I'm not sure. But, you know, 50 is petty. And this is, you know, strategy 101, the art of war. Because we're almost 20 years later. Maybe she forgot. But now she could be on the hook for having to pay 50 $1 million just for talking about what she experienced. So, I don't know. I, again, wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of 50 Cent. So, the question is, though, do you think, can you legally give someone your right story and say, I won't speak? Like, here's the thing, right? I haven't been able to go and thoroughly check like all of the courts, but when I looked to see if there was any documentation like in court of this agreement, like, because there was, again, this was during the child support thing and she was trying to sue 50 back in 2007. So I wanted to see if there was kind of anything on the record, and I wasn't able to find anything. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means in my brief search, I wasn't able to find anything. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward. She probably can't even talk about what happens moving forward. But 50, of course, reposted the TMZ story about it just being him. Like, is there anyone, do you think that there's anyone that can stop 50 or sort of contain him, put him in his place? Like, you know that there are people that, ooh, those two going off on each other, that would be intense. That would be, you know, a clap off thing. Is there anybody that you think that could give 50 a run for his money? It's pretty kind of sad in a way. Morris Phillips says, can you say non-disclosure? Royal Jenkins, he's talking about Megan Thee Stallion. He says Megan is smart. Fahima says Megan turned 30 in February. Again, she deserves happiness. Well, two Aquariuses together. We'll see what that's like. I don't really have a lot of intel on how that works. But we'll see. Fahima says 50 Cent did imply that Jane Doe was actually his other child's mom. He did. I mean, he posted the stuff. And listen, if you were in touch with the streets, right? We talked about when 50 first discussed that he was doing a Diddy documentary. Oh, by the way, where is it? What happened to it? It was supposed to be coming on Netflix. I mean, TMZ and Tubi, they got about 15 of them things running. What happened to 50's? Maybe it was a conflict of interest for him. I don't know. But it's not like people weren't aware of what 50 and Diddy's most recent beef was regarding. Maybe not everyone, but it wasn't a secret that at one point in time, Diddy did date 50's son's mother. And, you know, it's not really hard to maybe put those pieces together. I don't know. All right. So we talked about Megan and Clay and the Labubu's and the 300,000 AP. We just learned about them 9 days ago, right? Soft launch to hard launch in less than 2 weeks. Could that be why people perhaps are feeling like it's a, quote, PR relationship? Was the soft launch was it purposely done, like oiling you? Because some people are saying, oh, just in time for her foundation's event. And then, you know, because you guys are haters and mean, some are like, oh, you only raised $1.5 million only, but you're spending $300,000 on a watch for this man. What's going on here? And all he had to say was, she's such a nice lady, because he's a nice guy. Andy?
And that's why it was a soft launch initially, I'm sure.
I believe that. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into the Shannon Sharpe case settlement. We have thoughts, and of course, Porsha and Simon heating up, and we have that Jurnee Smollett interview coming up later. All of that and more on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, I run New York. Oh, man. I get it. I get it.
It's the $1 billion remix, baby.
Yeah.
For real, though.
Yeah. Come on, man, I'm hot now. Drop now, top down, I got style. Been around the block, pal. Imagine what I got now. The Bentley, the Ferrari, maybe the Bugatti, Range of Maserati. I got them all. My money, my money.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. The FDA has approved a twice-a-year shot that can prevent HIV infections. Black 58-year-old Evelyn Lampkin, who's a mom of 2, says she was married and didn't know her husband had HIV when she was diagnosed in 2010. She spoke to MSNBC.
If PrEP was out then, I might have considered it.
The CDC says over 39,000 people in the U.S. were diagnosed with HIV in 2023. They say that's a drop in cases. The new drug is called Yes2Go, and doctors say it could be covered by insurance. We're in the height of grilling season, and according to the USDA, black people consume more beef than any other racial group. Now, here's the bad news. The U.S. government says data shows just last month the average price for a pound of beef is up past $6. That's a 12% price hike from last year. Finally, the WNBA All-Star Game is tomorrow night, and Glorilla is set to take over the halftime show. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Clarita crash on the 5 southbound before the 14. It's been blocking the 3 right lanes, sending you back from just about Highway 126. Also tough in Carson, another wreck, 110 southbound Torrance Boulevard. Right lanes blocked here, slowing you down off of the 91. And let's check out Inglewood, 405 northbound at the 105, a stall in the right lane. You're on the brakes getting away from Inglewood Avenue.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Major League Baseball Players Association is advising Latino and Hispanic players to carry their documentation wherever they go. The memo was sent out to players on all 30 teams in response to the ongoing immigration raids conducted by ICE in Southern California and around the country. 28% of the players on opening day rosters were born outside of the U.S. The majority of international players in Major League Baseball are from the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and Cuba. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said the league has talked with the Trump administration to help protect their players. The first HBCU football game this season will be broadcast live on ABC. Southern University and North Carolina Central will get national exposure when they meet up in the SWAC MEAC Challenge on Saturday, August 23rd in Atlanta. Kickoff is 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yay, yay! Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Spaces limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back into KBLA Talk 1580 with Jill Munroe. You know, your digital timeline translator, hitting all these topics, these headlines. I think this is a great way to kind of end that 50 topic. DJ Black 909 said, in the video game 50 Cent Bulletproof, 50 said, "Make me your friend and I'll get your back for life. Make me your enemy and the world ain't big enough for you to hide." And he pretty much stands by that. 50's an emotional cancer too. So even though we don't see him flash out, wild out, really, we do. Sometimes I think that, there might be some pain besides some of these jokes, some of these hard-hitting things that he hits us off with. But perhaps not. He could just be a cold-hearted snake, Morris Phillips says, "Jill, I believe the judge dismissed the case with prejudice." We're going to get into that. So, Tony Busby. We've been talking about Tony Busby quite a bit as of lately. He was involved in the suit against Jay-Z and Diddy. He also has several accusers that have civil suits against Diddy. We know that he represented several women. The word several keeps coming up, if you notice, with Tony. Women that were accusing NFL player Deshaun Watson of inappropriate things during massages, and the list goes on and on. So this young lady that Shannon Sharpe was involved with, he met at the gym out here in Southern California. She claimed that their relationship turned dark and that there were some things that happened that were inappropriate and that he assaulted her, basically choked her. They leaked some audio of her saying, "I don't like to be choked like that. Could you stop?" Again, they were in a consensual relationship, right? And she was much, much, much younger than Shannon, right? And a lot of people said Shannon should have known better than to be playing with that young girl like that out there doing the type of things that he wanted to do. But some suspect that maybe, the older women weren't into the same shenanigans that Shannon was, or at least he wasn't coming across the ones that were. I don't know. But a settlement has been reached, right? He announced it, but he, being Busby, announced it today. And the case was settled and will be dismissed with prejudice, as was about to be mentioned in the chat. And that means the accuser can't refile later, right? Whatever she took, she took. And he also said the process was protracted and respectful with all matters addressed satisfactorily, right? There were no criminal charges filed. This case was filed in Las Vegas. Sharpe has we know he canceled the nightcap tour that he and Chad Ochocinco Johnson were supposed to embark on this summer. He may or may not have lost a couple of sponsors or may have just been put on hold. And he was not on air with ESPN for the remainder of the time, which may or may not be a big deal if you consider we were outside of football season, right? I mean, Shannon talks about everything, of course, but again, we know that 2024 was the year of Club Shay Shay. We don't hear much about Club Shay Shay anymore.
It's still popping, though.
It's still popping, but not like it was, where every week it was like, boom, Shannon dropped some information. Oh, my God. Boom, a new interview with Shannon and who? There was going to be clips everywhere. Haven't felt that kind of energy.
I'm with you on that, but I've seen a couple of his most recent interviews, and they're still getting million views.
No, I'm not saying that. Right, but Shannon was doing epic numbers. He was on a run.
For sure, absolutely.
Right. So now I wonder, because NFL training camp opens in about a week, I think, week and a half. It's time for the season to kind of get back in gear, right? Will be preseason games, Hall of Fame game comes late next month? Mm-hmm. So I wonder what's going to happen with ESPN. Is it going to be back business as usual?
I think so. If anything, they'll be smart because ain't nobody watching First Take right now with Stephen A. on vacation. Shout out to Monica McNutt. She been doing her Thug Thizzle, holding it down as a host, and other folks. But we need some personality. And considering the fact that, you got rid of, in my opinion, it was some decent shows on Fox Sports 1. I feel like the sports media platform, network, industry or whatnot, they need something injected in them as far as a significant personality. I mean, outside of Stephen A. and Shannon Sharpe.
I agree. Well, here's some tea about Fox Sports, what could be coming, right? Some of the things that they're considering. We know that Max Kellerman's name is out there buzzing around. Andy made the suggestion that they should go get RG3 for football season. Well, one of the options is licensing some other programming. What type of program, you ask? Taking the Pat McAfee model and licensing some podcasts and using that to fill up their morning hours. So allegedly, they are talking with Barstool Sports. There's several podcasts that are over there, sports themed. And there is also talk of All the Smoke being licensed and brought over there for the morning hours. I think it's a little late for all of those moves. I mean, but they have to do something, right? So I'm curious to see what it will be. It was just a year ago when they announced this reconfigured lineup, and now it's already poof gone. So we'll see what happens. As far as Shannon, I don't even want to position it as I've hoped he's learned a lesson.
I hope he did. I say
but he did. But I do. I mean, because it's like on one hand, what you do in the privacy of your bedroom is your business, and with whom, right? But I just hope that he's moving a little smarter. That's all.
I think if he's not looking to settle down, he's not looking at somebody in his age range. Everything that he needs to do moving forward just needs to be a transaction, and that is it. Anything further than a transaction, you're stepping into some fire.
I mean, but if you make it just a transaction, right, then you could potentially end up in a Diddy twist.
I mean, not in that regard. Not in that regard. Go ahead, call up. I mean, you can call up whoever, go online, do what you need to do, and then that's it. I don't think you need to fly people over. You don't need to have multiple people. You don't need to be watching nothing. You don't need no baby oil. You need to turn your Instagram live off. You know what I mean? Make the transaction pop, do what you do, and then be gone. Don't be dealing with them outside of that, because I think that's where, things get a little messy.
I agree, but we'll have to see. Let's see. Fahima says, why don't these people settle their cases prior to it going public? If they are going to settle, just do so pre-scandal. I think a lot of that is ego. I think it's a double-edged sword, because let's be absolutely clear, and I'm not talking about Shannon or other people. There are people that have paid settlements, amounts of money. You think about this. Think about how many paid payoffs, essentially, we heard about in the Diddy trial, right? There's Kerry Morgan, that was Cassie's best friend. Capricorn got some money. There was someone else that worked for him that got some money. It happens all the time. But the other side of that, the other problem with that is, if you are constantly paying people for demanding stuff, and some of it may have been consensual, some of it may have been questionable, some of them you were dead wrong and you need to pay them every dime, at some point you're going to end up broke. So really the answer is stop doing foul stuff. But sometimes it's a matter of, was it foul at the time, or is it foul now that I no longer have a use for you? So I think it's really, really a hard thing. It's easy to say, right, when we don't have the financial resources to say, I'll just pay off all my problems, and also don't have the specter hanging over our heads of somebody's going to expose me. Because look at what's happening right now with the astronomer guy, the CEO. Andy, what were you about to say?
I was going to say that's Anthony Edwards.
Oh, right. Anthony Edwards is dealing with many, and it's his fault, because all he had to do was act like he was a winner and protect himself, right? Because at this point, I feel like, and this goes for any rapper, any athlete, any public, and I'm going to say women too, but men particularly, because they seem to have so much issues with women are gold diggers. They want me. They just want to use me. Y'all don't act like it when you don't protect your little swimmers. You act like you don't think highly of yourself. You don't value yourself and all of the things that you say you are.
Look, I'm going to just say this, just like Common said, right? I forgot the name of the song. No, I used to love her. I get geek when you come around. We don't know how to act sometimes.
I guess, you know, but you know how to not call them back. I'm telling you, a little kindness sometimes, a little sweetness in those texts might help you out. I'm just saying. Really quick, let me get into this Simon Guobadia situation. He's suing Porsha again, right? He's demanding $500,000 in damages over Porsha's social media posts from late 2024, claiming that implying, I should say, Simon might have a little erectile dysfunction. According to the lawsuit, the post cast him in a negative and humiliating light, hurt his business reputation. Now, why would his little softcore situation hurt business? You don't get off in your business life by your sexual prowess, Simon, but I hear you go off. And it also he also said it cost him sponsorships. That or your behavior, that or you being deported. I don't know. It's a lot of drama. You having an affair, stepping out allegedly on your wife to get with Porsha in the first place, that didn't do anything to your business. I'm just asking. I don't know what's going to happen. Good luck to them with that. Simon, you know, says he'll present medical records to refute Porsha's claim. Dog, yeah, just, you know, the divorce is finalized, y'all. Y'all remember the judge pretty much ruled in Porsha's favor. So your boy just a little bit bitter trying to get back some of that money that he lost in the divorce. It happens. It happens. Listen, thank you for locking in, of course, as you always do, each and every Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Coming up, we have an interview with Jurnee Smollett. You know we love Jurnee, talking about her new role in the Apple TV Plus series, Smoke. It also stars Taron Egerton. It is about a fire investigator and some arson and things like that. Really intense piece. So, you know, stay tight for that. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Farr. At one point, James said something that caught me off guard. Not because it wasn't true, but because it is. Black Altadena is gone. I know it may seem stupid and non-productive, but I stopped in that moment listening to Tavis and James. I broke down and cried. In the back of my mind, I told myself we can bring it back like it was. But James Farr's reality check hit me like a ton of bricks. My community is being murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war. And we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one No entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there's nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Jurnee, Jill Munroe, KBLA, Talk 1580. So we talked a little bit about how Michelle is her own interesting persona as she's stepping into this world and examining all of these people in it with all of their interactions. What is her mindset and first impression when she meets Dave, and how does that change throughout the series, sort of comparing it with, I feel as though there's a little bit of her inner turmoil that comes out in her assessment and work. So.
Yes, absolutely. The way I approach their first interaction, for one, she's read all his files. She knows more about him than she's going to let on because she doesn't want to disarm him. I mean, she doesn't want to intimidate him. She knows he don't want her there. And she don't want to be there, okay? She's been demoted because of her situation with Burke and him, almost trying to get revenge for her breaking up with him. And so she kind of looks at this place. She takes it on as a challenge, all right, underestimate me, watch me. I'm a catch him, right? But I think her approach with Dave, or my approach when doing that scene, was teach me. Professor, you're the expert. Your reputation is, all around. It's look at these awards. Let's, feed into his ego. I think she's, again, worked in a male-dominated field. She understands that her presence can sometimes be intimidating, and with someone like him, she needs him, frankly. So yeah, the approach was very much so, let me humble myself. I don't know anything about what you know, so I want to learn from you, Mr. Professor. Let's go and teach me what you know in the field, right? Like feed into that male ego in a way. And then it quickly is like, look, motherfucker, like I outrank you. We not gonna do this, Like she couldn't really make it last too long because the real Michelle came out. But what I loved with Michelle is she has a mask that she's capable of putting up. And when does she decide to wear that mask? And, when does she not?
A little bit about your research into arsonists and what makes them tick, and so to speak. How do you think Michelle's relationship to fire is? Because we see different moments of its impact, but what do you think her thought process is on her relationship with fire?
So when I first met with Dennis, we talked about that, the fire being a metaphor for this force in her life that she's drawn to. It's part of that creation destruction pattern where he said to me, Jurnee, we all say we want to be happy, and yet sometimes we are often drawn to the very things that will destroy us. And that is Michelle in a sentence, where it's like, all right, whether it's a toxic relationship or her inability to overcome her childhood trauma or her need to be a workaholic and prove herself, in the workplace, she's in these toxic patterns and drawn to the things that keep her not feeling safe, that keep her not feeling happy, that keep her away from being actually the best version of herself. And I think that's a universal thing we can all relate to. While the details might be different in our life, we all either have currently or in the past or will in the future struggle with being enticed by those elements that are destructive. And that fight against us achieving the best and becoming the best version of ourselves.
Amazing. Thank you for your answer.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. The FDA has approved a twice-a-year shot that can prevent HIV infections. Black 58-year-old Evelyn Lampkin, who's a mom of two, says she was married and didn't know her husband had HIV when she was diagnosed in 2010. She spoke to MSNBC.
PrEP was